Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman with the Great Millstone Camp here in DC, back from another video. But first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rekah HaKodesh, and of course, double honors once again go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations. Also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, week in and week out, sometimes more than once. But what we all have in common is we post many videos that are uploaded, all right, and that are meant for the edification of the hopeful elect of our people. All right, here is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Fair use, fair use, fair use. All right. So once again, let's go here to the Kim Iverson. And this is a clip from a larger video. But don't need the whole video just to make this point. And I bring this up and make this video to show you the desperation. All right. And I've stated it in prior videos. These people are getting pretty desperate. All right. They can just almost taste their plans coming to fruition, or so they think. All right. And someone's going to do something mighty stupid. And if this is any indication right here, this is what Great Millstone and those affiliated with Teach Like Doctrine have always told you. This was coming. All right. Well, let's just hear it in this jackass's own words. And like it says, this sounds like a threat.
Naftali Bennett, the former Prime Minister of Israel, told us Americans in this clip I'm going to show you that if we don't support Israel, well, we might just find ourselves having a little 9/11 attack.
Imagine for a moment we don't exist, okay? And you've got the Middle East festering with jihadists and Al-Qaeda type and ISIS and Hezbollah. We know what'll happen. They're going to hit the Twin Towers, 9/11. That's what happens when you say the Middle East isn't our problem, we don't care. The radical Islamists will come to the big Satan, to Manhattan, to California, to America, but with nuclear ballistic missiles. And we never asked America to fight for us. We can defend ourselves. We do need America to have our back.
Are you confused by that message? Because I just was. I mean, they're hoping for Americans to get on the ground in Iran. They're not going to send any of their troops to Iran. No, they're
Nope.
busy taking Lebanon, and they're still busy taking Gaza. That's what their troops are for, taking land, while we're occupied with their big enemy, Iran. They've actually never offered troops for any of our Middle East wars that we fought for them. Not once. Afghanistan, Iraq. Never have the Israelis ever fought side by side with Americans. Never. Never happened. But we don't need you to fight our wars for us, but if you don't fight our wars for us, then another 9/11 style attack is going to happen to you. They were the first, Israelis. You could look this up. This is like in the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's not a lie. Israelis were actually the very first to ever commit any terrorist attacks in the Middle East. Zionists were the first.
Which those people that were living there in that region refer to as the Nakba. All right. They are correct. Let's pull up, let's see. For those of you that don't know, King David Hotel. All right. Let's see, 1946. Here it is. There it is. Let's see. The British administrative headquarters for Mandatory Palestine. Remember, all right, they divided the land. All right. Joel 3rd chapter. It says, housed in the southern wing of King David Hotel in Jerusalem, were bombed in a terrorist attack. And it wasn't who they've told you were the terrorists. All right. They were the terrorists. All right. on 22nd July 1946 by the militant right-wing Zionist underground organization Irgun during the Jewish insurgency. Let's go a little more in depth in this, because this is something else I'm going to have to address in another video. It says the hotel was the site of the central offices of the British Mandatory Authorities of Palestine, principally the Secretariat of the Government of Palestine and the headquarters of the British Armed Forces in Palestine and Transjordan. Okay, these are people that have no authority to do what they did, but because of so-called white supremacy, they just, and we know that the Rothschilds had funded numerous digs, anthropological digs, many years, decades prior to this point in 46. So all in how better to determine whether or not we want to steal this land. And then, World War One, the Balfour Declaration, and then some 31 years later when it finally took effect. All right. Anyway, I just want you to see this. I'm not going to go. You can, look into this. Look, here we go. Disguised as Arab workmen and as hotel waiters, members of the Irgun planted a bomb in the basement of the main building of the hotel. And I highlight this, all right, to show you this never stopped. This is how they do business. All right. Disguised as Arab workmen and as hotel waiters, members of the Irgun planted a bomb in the basement of the main building of the hotel. And as a result of that, let's see, deaths, you had 91, injured 46. Now let's see if it's going to go into who were the main people killed. I gotta get that. Let's see. Preparations, planning. Yeah, I mean, they just look at this, all these criminals. These are the people. Look at that. Look at this. You have to keep saying it. The Austrian painter was right. All right, because they didn't waste any time after they conned the people, and look at this. Feeling sorry for him. Menachem Begin. He was one of the leaders of this. There he is. He was prime minister from 77 to 83. All right, but before all that, some 31 years prior, this is what he was doing. He was a terrorist. Yeah. So again, do you think this never stopped? This never stopped, and people just believed all the lies. That's all they're about. Let's see execution. The perpetrators met at 7 a.m. at the Beit Haran Talmud Torah. This was the first time they were informed of the target. The attack used, now listen to this, approximately 350 kilos or 700 kilograms or 770 pounds of explosives spread over 6 charges. According to Begin, due to consultations about the cancellation of the attack on the David Brothers building, the operation was delayed and started at about 12, an hour later than planned. After placing the bombs in the La Regence Cafe, the Irgun men quickly slipped out and detonated a small explosive in the street outside the hotel, reportedly to keep passers-by away from the area. The police report written in the aftermath of the bombing says that this explosive resulted in a higher death toll because it caused spectators from the hotel to gather in its southwest corner, directly over the bomb planted in its basement. The first explosion also caused the presence in the hotel of injured Arabs who were brought into the secretariat after their bus, which had been passing, was rolled onto its side. The Arab workers in the kitchen fled after being told to do so. All right, now I want to get if they're going to tell me. There it is, explosion aftermath. All right, so let's see. 91 people were killed, most of them being staff of the hotel. All right. 21 were first-ranked government officials, including Undersecretary Robert Pauls Platt, the most senior official among the victims, and 7 assistant secretaries. 49 were second-ranked clerks, typists, and messengers. All right. Blah 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 blah. By nationality, that's what I wanted. 41 Arabs, 28 British citizens, 17 Jews, 2 Armenians, 1 Russian, 1 Greek, and 1 Egyptian. All right. All right. Where's the? There's a used to be a picture of the hotel. Let's see. Did I miss it? Let's see. Maybe go back up. Yeah, there it is. Damn. Yeah. There it is. That's what happened. Look at it. All right. So he's telling you, since people are now aware of the bullshit and all the lies, all right, let's continue on.
Terrorists, the first real terrorists who introduced the concept of terrorism to the Middle East. But no, it's everybody else who's the terrorist. It's everybody else. This one makes me really nervous. And the reason is so many Americans have turned their backs on Israel.
Yes.
So many Americans are now not in support of Israel. They're desperate enough, I think, to stage a false flag attack against a lot of Americans. They're going to be very clever, very crafty. They're going to try really hard to make sure that we pin it on the Iranians or whoever they think that we should pin it on, to gaslight our youth especially back into the fold.
And this was the thing that she just said there at the very end. This is the thing that was so important about Charlie Kirk and his organization, because they wanted, all right, to keep the ones that they had, the minds of the ones they already had, you know, these Christian nationalist types. But with social media and everything, people aren't as well, I say restricted, because you got so many ways now to get the actual news, and you don't have to be just stay to what the local. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's so many ways to get information now, and they're losing their grip. All right, the narrative is it's harder to keep or push that same narrative that they've been doing for so long. And like I say, they can't gaslight the people like she was saying, like they used to. So they've got, like I said at the beginning of this video, is the desperation is seeking in, and they're going to do something stupid. All right, let's see. Let's get some scriptures here. All right. Let's go to Job 15:5. All right. It says, "For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty." All right. Because believe it or not, there's more going on here. All right. They're not in charge like they think they are. There's strings being pulled. You remember going to Revelation 16th chapter where it talks about, well, let me get that after this. It says, verse 6, "Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee." All right, and I mentioned Revelation. Let's get that real quick. Because they think they're so smart. All right, it says the 7 bowls of God's wrath. I'm going to get straight to the point. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see. see where I'm going to start. Let's see. I'll start at, all right, 12. This is Revelation 16 and 12, and it says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates." All right. "And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophets." All right, and you've got your centers of, in this beast system, you have, all right, you have the military wing, or might, or you should say, which is America. All right, because that's the ones they call out when they want to put someone in check. You know, these countries that don't do what these elites want them to do. So guess what? They'll engineer some conflict, and here comes America, the policeman of the world. All right, and then you have your financial seat, which is, of course, London. And then you have that false prophet, and that's the Vatican. All right, those three unclean frogs. All right, "For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty." And this is what's happening now. They're being influenced, and they don't even really realize it. All right, this is what these these angels, these spirits, are doing. All right, and they think that they're so wise. Well, it tells you in Obadiah, all right, that well, let's get that, verse 8, I believe it is. Let's see, let's go into that. All right, and this whole chapter is Edom. This is the self-professed white man, will be humbled. He is so proud. He thinks he's done it all on his own. I'll get the scripture for that later, but right now, verse 8, "Shall I not in that day, saith the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?" And that's what happened. All right, he's being exposed. All right, he doesn't have that or enjoy that demigod status that he had in the earth. All right, it's all fading away. Yeah. We're in the time of 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter. All right, the man of sin being revealed. That's where we're at right now. All right, so that's going to be it. Yeah, that is definitely a threat, and not so veiled. All right, so there you have it. Just a little thing. Let's see, just a little few comments. He's practically telling us they are going to do another false flag in America. All right, that was a convoluted threat. If they speak this way to the public, can you imagine how they act privately? All right, they are accusing others of what they are doing. Yep, the biggest hypocrites on the earth. The devil never stops their madness. Ask the crew of the USS Liberty, that was in 1967, and they will tell you who the terrorists and the devil are in the Middle East. Bennett is pure evil. Talking about terrorism, Hezbollah, Hamas, and none of that would be happening if it wasn't for them. Exactly. And it was caught on tape about Netanyahu admitted to funding, was it Hezbollah? Yeah. He is threatening the U.S. for another Operation Red Flag. Let's see. Little Satan calling out big Satan. Check. Wow. Dual citizens must not be allowed in any government process. And this is important, every accusation is a confession. Yes, indeed. I'm going to end it on that because that about says it all. All right, so with that, I hope once again that you are edified and watching these videos. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. All right, and once again, keep your eyes and ears open. Remain circumspect out here. All right, so with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.